Hello and welcome back. This is episode 16 of our Disco Elysium playthrough. Now, last episode, highs and lows. A few more lows, but we ended on a high. We had a few failed skill checks. We did have to open that door for Everett. We tried to lie to him, but Harry, who we are, even though it says name unknown, just stuffed up the lie. However, on the flip side, in regard to the drug ring, we found the lady driver's vehicle, and we broke into it. We found a whole bunch of information about the drug trade, routes, and things like that. We think also believe the lady driver was the 8th person at the lynching, because she had a worn down sole on her shoe, and that was one of the footprints that we'd found. And so we're going to talk to the Hardy Boys about her, because they've admitted to the murder of the guy. We're going to talk to him and see what he's got to say about it.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Guess what? I've connected you to the local drug trade. Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets in Precinct 41 kilos. We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock? The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprints. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grace? The thought forms in your head like lightning strikes branching to the sky. You're right, there is no local drug trade, except to you. That's mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runt on this street. Yeah man, theoretically that's what you would do to get rid of the gangs, dealers, even some of the junkies. You would need good, trustworthy people to make their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of this community, of course. This is disgusting. You're admitting to profiting off poisoning your own people. Good idea. People are always going to do drugs, at least so. Boo fucking who. People will always be taking drugs. Might as well do it clean and organised. Yeah, that's what the labour movement is all about. Clean and organised. And Hardy Boys are running it. Theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics here. My answer to your drug accusation is, how dare you go fuck yourself. Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of print on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy Boys here. The 8th Hardy, the one who's missing, she runs the thing, right? My answer is, fuck off. He takes a step closer. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene. And here we go, back to the usual. The woman sighs. I know. The little man raised his index finger. Fatty walked on all fours, so his fucking fat feet left 2 sets of footprints. Despite everything, the little man is quick on his feet. Go fuck your mum, Dennis. Third task, confront Hardy. Okay. That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all fours. Anything else you want to know? 58's still not enough. We'll come back.
I've got nothing to say.
Alright. Alright, that's fine. That's one step closer. We're going to talk to Joyce now. She's the Wild Pines rep. She wanted to know about the drug trade. It was raining before, now it's snowing. Sorry, this is just me. Let's have our bag, just in case we come across any bottles, because we're not going to be able to afford our rent tonight, so we'll sleep in Kim's car, I think, is my plan. It's a lot of money. Don't I get like a pay? Don't I get allowance or something?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Okay. Oh, level up. Good. I spoke to the lorryman. Yes, my eyes on the harbour sent word to that effect. What have you discovered? Wait, where exactly are these eyes located? It doesn't really matter, and I do apologise for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at times like this. Visual calculus. One of the tall buildings overlooking the roundabout, most likely. That would give them... Yep. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assumed you discovered there is an operation. If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand. Of course, Detective, she says in her tone more cautious suddenly. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you will rest. Oh, I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have bloodbath on our hands. Half-Light. The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries. What's this about a bloodbath? Yes, I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Revachol West. Since you're sharing, ma'am, this is also RCM's worst-case scenario. Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be. Tell me again, how are the lynchings and the strike connected? I have an indirect role to play. I'm sad to say, my employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail. Momentary lapse in faith? They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer. Every worker, a member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humour. Do you need a security detail? Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the union into surrendering. Who are they exactly? Crenel, an Augies military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armour, have semi-automatic weapons and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment. So what happened? The story is one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night. What then? Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss the matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 colonel contractors carry out their orders. For now. It's a smokescreen. In secret, they're conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow. What is the nature of this so-called investigation? Whether to execute one, some, or all of the union militants. Half-Light. It'll be all of them. The decision is already made. Maybe, I have to say this is not Disco. It's very far from Disco. A wave crashes against the side of a boat. My only hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, she grabs at hold of the mainsail. If you don't pin this on somebody good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the union to respond. The débardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1. Have you ever seen Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. Encyclopedia. The Ceres giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours. These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most union workers don't have guns at all. The muzzle-loaded need to be reloaded after 1 or 2 shots, the automatics every 1 or 2 minutes. She's silent for a moment and then concludes, as I said, a bloodbath. Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing? Many bleak scenarios have already come true. She looks at you, eyes damp from the wind. Nameless, badgeless detective of citizens militia. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court and I may be able to defuse the situation. Okay, what can you tell us about Crenel? Not much. Their public resume is relatively good as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients, St. Baptiste, Welchman Loretz, and Derapt. A warning sign, however, the operation concealed all take place on third or fourth world countries, guarding facilities, escort missions and such. meaning they're used to operating in war zones. Yes, all the good conflict corridors. Supramundi, Yasut, the Seminoles Island, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocities military conducting in their soil. Okay, anything else you got on them? Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time though. Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am? In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I would be dealing with a group like Crenel. Could you contact the company, tell them to call them off? I have, and they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field. Until they do, it's all on us. Drama. She's being truthful. She's pressing them as hard as she can. You said the deceased assaulted a woman? Or he didn't. She tilts her head. This is information has passed on me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify to it. Who did the passing on then? The remaining contractors, their tribunal. It's what they believe. What did these teenagers by the canal say? That a man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez. The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyes knitted in concentration. Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place and when? Last Sunday night at the Whirling and Rags, the hostel by the gate. Supposedly the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometimes later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him. And who was this woman? That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumour about a rumour. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe. The colonel, the one who hanged, did you know him? If you mean did I see him alive? Yes, but I did not know him. His name was Laley. His service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one. Tell me about the others first. One of the men, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is the radio operator. The lieutenant cuts him. What would you say was his eye colour? The deceased. She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, and then shakes her head. I can't remember. There's a pang of regret in her voice. The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let on. She passed. That's right, ma'am. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age? He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had the combat injury on his lower jaw. Made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expression. Indeed, this matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. What else? Nationality? Accent? He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, mixed accent. Or Orgeanese or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. And that seems to corroborate the ethnicity we gave him. Where are the remaining two mercs now? They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. She puts her foot on the guide wire for balance. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the RCM militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes, ghetto savages. It will be a fruitful meeting. We still need to know where they are. You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if they don't appear. Where are these mercenaries? One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting about idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south on the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers. One must be the goon ill-fitting work clothes by the harbour gates, the scab leader. That may be so. She is poised and unperturbed. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest. For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gates is a powder keg. Does this not bother you? Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant, but my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared as I was intervening on behalf of the Union? Your concern may be appearance, ours keeping the peace. One is probably in the building overlooking the roundabout. That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible. Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece? Heavens no, I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel. Okay. How much time do we have? Until the execution start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience. they don't report their progress to you. Not on this matter, I'm afraid. They consider this a personal initiative. There's a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay. It's a matter of days, not weeks. Now can you tell me about these tattoos? Of course, excuse my hesitation before. She reaches over the guide wire and takes a photo for about half a minute in silence. It is taken with Trigate not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no markings on his hands or legs. Stay quiet, observe what the woman's expressing. Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo of the surface. What do you think? Sorry, she breaks her concentration. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points, the stars. She points on the paper. I can't, but that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and the distance from each other tells you what they represent. Like stars in the sky. Close. Port cities. This is Orgenie's map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolarian century over 300 years ago. The sailors would mark their bodies on the maps to their travels. What travels did the dead man make? Quite a few. Vanderfort, the Orgenie's capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think. What next? Then he made his way to the Punta Grande through what I think must be Stata Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Predo, he sailed to the Interlindic Ocean. First the Seminoles Islands, then she points to his heart. What is that? Revachol. Those are the two constraints. Verdefort on the shoulder and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of the Interlindi at the dawn of the Intersolary Age. The old world passing by the new world already here. You said you can't read it. I can't. This man was no sailor and there are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning. What is the use of this map? The sailor's soul would be used to fly back home if they were to die abroad. It's a sort of contraption. To be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it. Who could tell me more? His platoon member. The other contractors, though, I do not suggest you go and show them this picture. The man was their friend and comrade. Surely there are other people to talk about the tattoo. This is not necessarily to complete the task, officer. It's a dangerous side task. Search elsewhere. I don't think it's a good idea to ask them about it. I'm relieved you think so. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help. Alright. Okay. So, bit of information, which is nice. We also got a level up. And we need to put that into authority. Because we need to talk to the Hardy Boys. Done. What do we got? Alright, we could try and talk to someone else about the tattoos. That's fine. Let's go and talk to the Hardy Boys. If I can solve this case by 9, I don't have to pay Gart for the accommodation. Which would be nice. I don't know what to do if we don't have the money. Alright. Good. I think we're learning a lot. Do you have anything? Give me some money? No. Alright, let's talk to them.
It's you again. What is it?
72. I talked to Joyce. The mercs who hang, his friends are coming for you. Yeah, he doesn't seem worried. By friends you mean his squad mates from Crenal? Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma. There's snickering in the room. Some of the men put their beers down. Nervous snickering. There's a rush of adrenaline present. Forget I mentioned, it's probably nothing. Goddamn right it's nothing. The fuck are you gonna do? We've got 10,000 men in the Union. It's probably more like 2,000 or 3,000, but whatever. Let's keep their spirits up. 72. As you look around the room full of sweaty men, swearing, drinking, and spitting out tobacco, does this look familiar? Where have you seen this before? You believe the place was called Precinct 41. It was almost filled with almost exclusively men, sitting on desks, talking shit and wasting time. I get it, Titus. You guys really are the authority around here, huh? You must be. You're just like real cops, drinking beer and sitting around with your dicks in your hands. He leans. You got a problem with beer now? Not quite there yet. Push on. No, I'm drunk on the job too. I don't give a shit, just like you guys. No, I'm also a big fan of beer and jerking off instead of helping people. I have a beer problem, but not a problem with beer. I just have no idea how to do my job, like you. I have a beer problem, not a problem with beer. I have no idea how to do my job like you. Not a big fan of beer, jerking off instead of helping people. You're saying we don't help people? He puts the beer down. I've been doing this job for 10 years. Martinez was a dump before we put this outfit together. They don't know, man. They weren't here. He turns to you. We had 3 shootings a week. Kids dead, fucking graffito everywhere. You cops haven't shown up since the 30s. Congratulations on the graffito removal. He turns to Titus. All I see you sitting around talking about Monica's titties while there's a rape victim. So what? What do you want me to do? We took care of that fuck. He picks up the beer can. Don't let him drink that. One more push, quick. It's not about who did it. It's about the victim. She needs help. Someone's been raped. She needs counseling. It's not about her. It's about the victim. Titus, he looks at her. She stops mid-sentence. That's it. You got him. He's going to give it up, but on his terms. You want to help her, cop? Fine. I'm going to let you help her, but you treat her with respect. If you don't, if you question her, harass her, Titus taps his chin with his fist. A freight train of pain, buddy. What's her name? Class Aljumon. She's staying here at the Whirling in Rags. A real pretty one. Silvery jumpsuit, blonde. That's Amanda with an OU. Oh no. Shit, the girl upstairs. That can't be her. She knows you drank so hard you forgot you're a cop. Khaleesi? Yeah, blonde, tall, 2 rooms over from yours. Let's improve that. Which on a disco dancer? Sure, why not? You've probably seen her around. I'm gonna fail this. You inexplicably add cool after the victim's name, with your eyes bulging like some wild beast. Your fingers are fidgeting and sweat starts foaming on your brow, and Titus looks at you oddly. I don't understand. What's cool here? Nothing. He gives you a sour glance. We just have a few more questions, then we'll be on our way. I like that. The first person you meet, and you have no clue what's going on. I like that. That's very clever. Well done. Calm, normal, try to forget this little hiccup. So what's her relationship with the mercenary? Relationship? There was no fucking relationship. He raped her, that's the relationship. It was like that karaoke incident all over again, or like some of the other girls he was harassing. Okay, enough. All of this is irrelevant to your stated investigation. When was it? He did it before we killed him. He's not going to do it again. So what does it matter? It would help if we establish a timeline. Alright, 2 weeks, maybe, I don't know, I need another beer. Here you go, boss. So, what is your relationship with her? I know her. He looks around and an uncommon silence fills the room. How well do you know her? A small twitch in the corner of Kim's mouth. He has a hunch about what knowing means. Well enough, copper. We partied. She's been here for a few months. Composure. He tries to make it sound real casual, so the muscles on his neck tightens. So she's not from around here? You mean Revachol? Nah. Our Miss Olga disco dancer is an immigrant or drifter of some sort. Been staying here over the winter. Don't you give her any more trouble, the fat guy blurts out. She's just had some bad luck, that's all. Shut up, Angie. He slaps his forehead. She doesn't need your help. Titus gives them both a look and they fall silent. You said you partied. Cool, that's cool. But what do you mean? Sex? Yeah, pretty much. So you're saying you two were close? No, we just fucked, that's all. I'm not going to give you any details if that's what you're after, so put your dick away. Drama. He's doing a good job here. A commendable performance of I don't give a shit. Thank you. We'll talk to her. Okay.
I've got nothing to...
Let's talk to Kim.
Officer, what was that?
You mean the sweating and the fidgeting when he mentioned her name? Yes. And the sort of quivering jello thing with the eye? Yes. I think I know that woman. The victim? Is there something I should know before we talk to her? Whatever you do, don't say the first thing. I didn't rape her. Okay. I'm not laughing at the rape thing, just I like our rhetoric. Don't do the first thing. I met her in the hallway after I woke up. She knows I don't remember being a cop. She knows I did some pretty crazy stuff before I passed out, that I party hard and not very mentally healthy. She knows I don't remember being a cop. Okay, that's manageable. She knows I did some pretty crazy stuff. I passed out. So she overheard you, or did you party together? She overheard me listening to music and doing weird things from her room. It's the one next to yours. Anything else? I met her in the hallway after I woke up. Understood you're not in good shape on Monday. I asked her where we are, what city, something like that. That's clearly your interrogation technique. Anything else? No, nothing else. Good, we'll be alright. It's nothing. You feel fortified by assurance. It's going to be alright. Rhetoric. Is it though? Nothing. You're still in for a bumpy ride here. Try not to mess it up. Can we talk to Gart? Does he know anything?
Can I help you?
No. We're not going to have your money, Gart. I'm sorry, unless there's something in our room. Money? Bottles? Anything? That's Kim's room. No, that's her room. I just want to quickly look in our room in case there's some money in here, which we may have missed. Housekeeping still's not come in, I see. Oh, a bottle. The window, another bottle. Okay, that's a gold mine in here. Okay. Another one. The fan. Can we do anything with the fan? Pull the light bulb. The lights are on. Okay, that's fine. Nothing in here. Okay. Just while we're here, I'll quickly... We can't fix that, but can we change our face in the mirror? Oh, locked. Oh. Attach the... Oh, so, okay. Oh, it's still locked, though. It doesn't matter. Okay. I just thought... Oh, there's another bottle. Yes. It's not gonna... It's not gonna be enough. Where's our wallet? Where's our wallet? Alright, let's go. Let's do this. Let's try to look less homeless than what we are. Knock. Who is it? Woman's voice answered muffled by the door. Tired, controlled. This is the police. Can we come in? Come on up. The door is open. I'm drying my hair. Sounds like it's coming from upstairs somewhere. You could snoop around before going up. How come she gets 2 stories? Hotel bill calculation. Look like she's already extended stay. Piles of dirty clothes. A woman's? Is that a bottle on the ground? Just doing some cleaning up for her. Because that's the kind of guy I am. Okay. What's in here? What's this? A bathroom. You see the yard below. The corpse is no longer there. This medicine cabinet is full of wares, sheets and pills haphazardly stacked on the top of the drawer. There's also a toothbrush somewhere in there. Look at the medications. Pharmaceuticals lined the shelves, sheets upon sheets of pill bottles next to the pill bottle. It's quite a collection here. Anything of note? Search the bottles. Pill bottles rattle like bones as you search the cabinet. Paracetamols, histoperiol, something in a foreign language you can't read. Behind them a usually shaped nasal spray labeled Nacra. Used to treat opioid overdose. Always handy wit to have around. Whisper, Nacra, an opioid antagonist. Interesting. That's used for diamorphine overdose. Reaction speed. You could say he's on the lookout. Search the pill sheet. Among some foreign, probably Messian and Gottewaldian. Mark red blister packs. What do you find is going to take a little bit of know-how. Is there anything more interesting here? 72. Bright orange bottle with Preptide stamped on it in sunny, happy letters. Jackpot, baby. That's the stuff you're looking for. Your palms begin to sweat. What's so exciting about this orange bottle? It's speed, man. Just what you're looking for. They call it amphetamine and talk about psychological disorders. But that's what we're seeing here in some scientifically advanced trucker. Lieutenant. I don't want to take it. I see a brand called Peptide. A euphemism for pharmaceutical amphetamine. Prescription speed. The fuck you're waiting for? Let's get some super preppy. Close the cabinet. No, I'm not taking it. Kim will never forgive us. Can we close the door? Oh, there's another bottle. Almost missed it. This is what my life has resorted to. The window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it. Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass, an untarnished golden halo. Smooth as ice. There are spots of mud and rain outside, even smudges, but the surface of the window is clear from the inside. No chips, no hairline fractures. Following your lead, the lieutenant leads to inspect the surface. It's been replaced. Looks like it has, yes. Okay. Any more bottles up here I can... The bed has been hastily made. Oh, there's the woman. The smell of cigarette smoke in the air. Astra methanol. Look at a handful of dried white wildflowers. And just as you look at the flowers, a gust of wind raises them from the roof, picking them up in the air. You catch a single white flower between your fingers, the rest fly off in the wind. The young woman looks at this Maybell in your hand, just a glance, and then takes a drag of her cigarette. The lieutenant gives you an acknowledging little nod. We're not going to do our finger pistols. Probably for the best. Your 9mm semi-automatic finger pistols are not a toy to be waved around. Cold coffee and ashtray. Looks like a hedgehog. Alright. Let's do this.
Welcome to the roof.
The young woman has a cigarette in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. Her hair is still slick from the shower. Electrochemistry. Below her, silvery jumpsuit, an athletic young body, built long and
I'm
lean.
sorry for the mess down there. The cleaning lady hasn't come by in days. I'm beginning to wonder if she ever will.
Nice
It's
view
much
you've got
nicer
here.
now.
Her eyes wander north towards the yard, where the dead body used to hang, clearly visible from the roof, but
Thank
no
you for
longer.
that, officers. Truly.
You mentioned a clean lady? I think I need one.
Oh yes, legends of room number 1 have made their way around the building. They say a portal to hell is opened in there.
Disco Infernum.
They also say that's why the cleaning lady quit. Because of the infernum.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi. I'm a detective from Precinct 57. I believe you have already met my colleague from Precinct 41.
Have I ever? This is the biggest fan of ostentatious orchestrations I have ever seen in my life, and I have seen a few. Oh yeah, life gets hard, but we go on.
The chorus of the 35 single megaphoning the entire human race instills you with the fuck it all swagger that prompts one plow into grannies on your morning stroll. How long do you think until the hard wears down? Things are getting easier for me. I'm a policeman. No. It's gotten pretty hard in the meantime, but I go on.
I can see that. I'm glad all this onward going has brought you to me.
Miss, we are investigating the murder of the man down there. The people who put him there have asked us to talk to you.
Ah, I see.
She takes a pensive drag of her methanol cigarette. What could she be thinking? It's hard to say. Her shoulders are relaxed, her eyes on the cigarette. What's your name, miss, for the record? Was it Classy? Yeah, Classy Amador. And where are you from? Verdefort, Republic of Augine. Wasn't the tattoo on the hangman and Augine's map of the waterways? The thought begins to form in your head and then dissipates. Something for later. How old are you? I'm 28. What do you do, miss? Something stupid. What's that? Augine's lit. Augine's literature. It's what I studied at the university. What is Augine's literature about? Fear of failure, fear of death, how it sucks to be Augine's. So, I'm pronouncing these things wrong. Oranges. I'm going to go with whenever I read books, I just pronounce things my own way. So that's, you're stuck with me. You're choosing to watch this. Augine's. All national literatures are, only the name of the nation changes. What is Orangen? A bad memory, officer. Understood. It's the past. She takes a sip of her coffee. People can't go back to the past. Thankfully, it's implied. What do you do with it? Nothing. I do nothing with it. How do you make money then? Money is very important. Cool. It's not very cool, but what can you do? Can we take a look at your passport, please? I'm afraid you can't, officer. Why is that? Because it's buried in sealed plastic bag in an undisclosed location on the coast, along with cash and airline tickets. Thank you for your candor. Why? They say, sir, your tourist brochure. Keep travel documents away from your person when west of the river. How do I know I've told you your real name? If I were to lie to you, I would come up with a more mainstream name than Classy Amadou. It's a weird name. She seems to be telling the truth. Alright. Okie dokie. She pours herself more coffee. Composure. If any of this made her nervous, it certainly doesn't show in her expression or her movements. Thank you. That's it for the record. The record, so official. What is this wildflower? She looks at the dried petal in your palm, then lightly touches one with her fingernail. Chipped white polish covers her nails. It's long and sharp like mini daggers. The petal crumbles on contact. Pretty. Looks like a dried maybell. Is that the one you caught? Sambo style? Why was it there? Why was there a flower on the roof? I don't know, officer. Because of the wind. Alright. They tell us you were raped. It's a bit early in the morning for raped, isn't it? Actually, it's evening, miss. Is it? Squinting, she takes a look around. The sun sets in the sea. Long shadows pass over the plaza below. It is evening. She looks in her coffee cup. Time flies, man. So were you? Yeah, she draws out the word. I'm going to not go with raped. I don't want to say that shit about him. By him, she must mean the victim. Tell them it's not my style. They'll have to know if they want to jazz up the charges. They'll have to get something more rapeable. Have to get someone more rapeable. By they, she means the Hardy Boys. Sorry, I'm going to go with not raped. I don't want to say that shit about him. Tell them it's not my style. They have to, if they want to jazz up the charges, they'll have to get someone more rapeable. By they, she means the Hardy Boys. Are you saying that you were asked to tell us you were assaulted? Not explicitly, but I understood what they meant. It wouldn't hurt to spice things up a bit. Some assault and battery, sexual assault maybe. It was clearly the latter would be spicier. Titus asked you to spice things up for us? Pretty much. She cradles her coffee cup in both hands, warming them. What did happen between you and the victim? We partied. What kind of partying? The kind I do? With all due respect, sir, I think we partied a little harder than that. Harder than this, I know it's not physically possible. Oh, it is. She takes a long drag. You're still alive. What did you do when you partied? We drank, sir. A lot. For weeks, basically. We had that effect on each other. We made each other drink harder. That's why I liked him. What else? Stimulants. Speed also has that effect, making you drink harder. And then drinking harder makes you do more speed. It's quite the combination. We also had sex. Were feelings involved? A little. The drugs were good enough, and we did enough of them. How did you two meet? Lieutenant voice was quiet, calm. Downstairs. She taps on the roof with her 10cm heel. At the bar. He was some sort of assignment. A military man, as you probably know. Had a cool, scary scar. When was this? A month ago? Something like that? Must have been hard for you seeing him there. Oh yes, she says bitterly. I've had a great view from the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams. Pain threshold. A bitter cringe. It hurts. You look at the lieutenant. He takes a small step closer. You called us. The RCM. Yes. Jackpot. Say nothing. Things are unraveling in a good way. I made it, and I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone. In Martinese they call it snitching. Reporting a crime is confidential in Revachol, miss. The caller's voice was disguised. I didn't exactly disguise it, I just muffled the mic and nicked the landline a little. Nicked it how? With nail clippers, I've diverted some radio fuzz into it, into the cold wire. So she's Gart's mystery phone cutter, and in the process you broke the landline downstairs. Did I? She looks into her coffee. Fuck, I didn't mean to. I had no idea what I was doing. Jigsaw falling into place. This is satisfying. It is satisfying. Good catch. I appreciate the symmetry. Interphasing. Still, that's pretty clever tampering. Simple and clever. Crossing the lines like that. Seems like you had some idea. That was nifty. Thanks. She looks a bit like a little girl who just had been complimented on her bike repair skills. Why go through all the trouble? I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk too. I was probably afraid the union was listening in. Locals say they have ears on the wires. Thank you for making the call, miss. It was the right thing to do. I didn't want to, sir, but if I had, he'd still be hanging there. What did they hang him for? What can you tell me about him? I'm sorry, I can't do it. Not right now. Later, maybe. I keep seeing him like he is now. I can't talk about it. I don't know. I know it's difficult, miss. We can return to this later. Why did they hang him for, if not rape? He's had something to do with the strike. One has been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing, but you probably know all about it. And his role in the strike was what? I think he was in a security details, ex-military, worked for Wild Pines and against the Union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean, but I understand it was dangerous. And they lynched him for it? She nods. Why was there a bullet in his head? Bullet? There was a silence. Her brows meet him in the middle for a pain frown. They shot him too? I'm not picking up any theatre craft here, sir. The pause is sincere. They stripped his clothes and they shot him. You mean after they hung him? Sorry, you mean after they hanged him? I'm confused, sorry. So am I. Were you aware that he had also been shot, miss? Things are starting to go a little over my head here. I thought he was hanged. I was not present when they did it. I don't know what happened. I just know what they told me. And Sylve, the bartender. Logic. This is beginning to get confusing for you two, and we don't like that. Where was she last Sunday night? Where were you when this happened? Cowering. I was cowering downstairs with Sylvie. Okay. How do you know the Hardy Boys? They're frequent guests downstairs. They have a booth for union members. They're probably down there now. And how did you meet? Over drinks. It's been a long, boring winter. Did you party? A little, yeah. Like you party with the deceased? No, not as hard. I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but have you had physical relationship with any of the Hardy Boys? I have. Understood. Alright, thank you for telling us this. She breathes a silvery sigh of relief and weariness. The air of the roof feels humid. We should head back downstairs, officer. We may have things to discuss there. Have something else before we go. A little thing. No, I don't want to ask her that. What are you doing here? That window is new. It is? She moved slightly to her left, check the reflection in it. What are you doing here in the whirling in rags? I'm wintering. How long have you been staying here? She calculates. A light just came on because it turned 8 o'clock. I like that. Something about lights in video games that light up an area. It's weird. But lighting makes me happy. She calculates about 4 months. I came in November. Why here? Here in the Whirling, here in Martinez, or here in Revachol? The Whirling. Because it's the funkiest building in Martinez, and because all the other buildings are bombed to hell. Wintering. Let's see if we can ask her why here. Why Martinez? I've heard this is where the washed up disco has been. Go. Came to the right place. She looks at you and nods. Let's ask her about Revachol. I always wanted to see the only city in the world in the worst time of the year. It's a tourist thing. Rhetoric. This is by far not the only reason she's here, and she isn't really hiding either. I'm not going to ask about the drugs. It means we've been snooping. Watching herself reflect in the bedroom window, a tall sparkling and draped smoke. It's a white check. I can retry it, but I've only got 8%. I can't even get 50%. Why not? I'm here till 11 drinking coffee, most likely. We went up a level as well. Should we upgrade our volition while we're here? Urges you to be a good guy and to others in yourself. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what that gets us.
I was just thinking.
17.
What a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Alright, speak to the assault victim. We've done those. Confront the Hardy Boys. Let's go downstairs. Oops. Oh, we gotta talk to Kim. I'm really not gonna be able to pay guard. Alright, Kim.
Looks like we have more to discuss with those so-called Hardy Boys. Half their reasoning just went out the window.
You think this will make them cooperate? Nothing will make them respect the RCM, but it will disrupt the game they're prepared for us. We just stripped off one layer of whatever it is. Her decision not to corroborate their story was definitely not part of the plan. Why did she tell us all that? What else could she have done? Lie? She saw there was no way to lie and get away with it. I'm not sure she had to lie. I wouldn't have known. If not you, then me. It was a smart move of her. Something is off here. You think so? She seemed forthcoming, unusually so. Being forthcoming about some things is a good way to obscure other things. The best lies are always forthcoming. Anyway, we should move. I suspect our investigation will bring us back here soon enough. Whew. No, I don't want to click on the window again. Downstairs. All right. We might wrap this one up here. Wow. Okay. That one was a lot of answers, but just so many more questions again. We'll have to talk to the Hardy Boys next episode. Gart, you're not getting your money. Sorry. I've got an hour. I can go hand in my bottles. Having a bit of a frame rate drop. The disco lights are killing my frame rate. It's just not disco. Oh yeah, that's really bad. Alright, I'll tell you what we might do. Stop. Okay. That's a good indicator. We'll wrap it up there. That was good. We learned a lot. We'll get back into it. We'll talk to the Hardy Boys. We'll hand in our bottles. and we'll try and get this solved. Any suggestions or advice for the game or for the channel, I would really appreciate it. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.